The opinions expressed here are exclusively those of CG Sense. No brand affiliations, free products, or affiliate marketing are associated with this video.
Alright, so for more than a week straight, I put on 6 sprays of African leather, 2 to the chest, 2 to each wrist. These atomizers, they're a little bit weak in my opinion. Definitely not like average strength. But I spent a lot of time with this fragrance, and I do overall think this is a great fragrance. I'm going to share my personal take on this one after spending a lot of time with it, the pros and the cons on both sides. But overall, I think this is like a very well made, very crowd pleasing, unique scent. Let's get it started with the opening. I thought a lot about how to describe the opening of African Leather, a lot. And once I finally figured out how I would take it in, like if someone described African leather and they said this, I would be able to comprehend it the easiest way. When it opens up, I'm hit with a spice that reminds me of key lime pie in the flavor. Now, I'm not saying if you think key lime pie, you're going to think creamy. You're probably going to think sweeter than what I'm talking about here and kind of dense. This is like the flavor of key lime pie, but it really has the airy nature and a sort of feel of spice. So if you were to have spices that gave off a kind of key lime pie sort of flavoring, that's what I'm always immediately hit with whenever I spray African leather. The leather, not so much, surprisingly, not on the opening. I mean, I could lie and say I definitely get leather because, you read online and it's easier to just go along with what everybody else is saying. I would say I do get a leather tone, but it's so light and it's so glossy and airy. Like, it's not something where I spray this and I think leather. What I think is key lime spice, like almost like a key lime flavored spice. It makes me think of key lime pie quite a lot. But it's not gourmand at all. It's very spicy, very airy. It has like a freshness about it. And it's very unique. It's one of those fragrances that when it opens up, especially if I haven't smelt it in a while, I'm like, damn, like there's nothing that opens up like this. Now, when we get into the dry down in the first 30 minutes, the only thing that I really notice changing is just the spices start to shift. The spices become more prominent. And there's almost like, I don't want to scare people away from this, but there is like a cumin thing going on. But the cumin in African leather is very well played. And what I mean by that is it doesn't give me body odor vibes at all. The cumin really just kind of makes the fragrance feel a bit more dense. So if you can imagine this key lime spice on the opening that just goes, it's just like one of those things that blows up. And it's like this really nice key lime spice, kind of fresh, kind of like a fall vibe. And then almost like a bit of the spices start to develop a bit of a heft to them. Almost like something that's just making the whole thing a bit more round. So it's not so airy and light and ethereal anymore. That happens to me in the dry down in the first 30 minutes. And it's almost like a transition that's ramping up. So it's not this thing that just happens all at once. It's just that kind of cumin-y kind of thickness, almost like a thickening agent comes in and makes this just start feeling rounder, more dense. And then between 30 minutes and 6 hours, the scent has that key lime spice and that slight cumin roundness. And this is where I start getting the leather. But the leather still is like an accent. It's not like something that I would say is the main part of this composition. The real main part of this composition is that key lime spice kind of thing. I think that's cardamom. I'll be honest with you guys. I've never smelt a cardamom in isolation. So I don't really, like with notes, that's why I don't really communicate them because I don't know what the heck they are a lot of times. I try to think of real world examples and how my brain connects things. But I imagine that key lime spice is the cardamom. And that's a lot of what African leather is about. Like the key lime stuff is just so front and center through the whole thing. Even that cumin that comes in, it's like an accent. And then between 30 minutes and 6 hours, what comes in is leather, but it's still like an accent, almost like a garnish, like not even a flavoring. It's like something that I detect is there, but it's also so translucent. It's just so thin and airy. Like it's almost like, I don't know, it's almost just giving it a bit of a tone. So between 30 minutes and 6 hours, you could think of key lime spice with a bit of cumin and leather in it, and things adding like a bit of an edge and character to African leather. But then between hours 6 to 8, it's still definitely present. This one has pretty good performance, longevity, and sillage. And between hours 6 and 8, what I notice is it just becomes really soft. And when it becomes soft, then it starts making me think more like lemon bundt cake. But it's like a skin scent. But it does start to go into more of an almost gourmandish route. The leathery facets, the cumin facets kind of die off in between hours 6 and 8. I'm smelling my wrist, and I'm kind of thinking of Xerjoff Lyra, which is like a lemon bundt cake fragrance. I'm not saying it smells like that, but as a skin scent, this does give that to me, something a bit more like lemon cake, like a lemon cake skin scent. That's like the best way I could describe it. Now, I have like a lot of mixed feelings on African leather, okay? This is one of those ones, man, where it was like a roller coaster of emotion. Revisiting this, I was on cloud 9. I was like, damn, this is like 10 out of 10. I still think it's like an absolute masterpiece. Don't get me wrong. I think this is a great fragrance overall. And if nothing I said turned you off, then it's definitely one worth sampling. Revisiting it, I was like, damn, this is like a 10 out of 10 out of 10. Like, this just hits on all marks. It's unique. It projects. When I put this on, my wife asked what I was wearing, which is something she don't really do that often. So it just got all these points instantly. And I was like, it's so unique, and it really fits in that category of mass appealing crowd pleaser scents. It does make me think of things like Leighton, like Naxos, like your standard, like super crowd pleasing scent. But I like that this one it almost feels more unique than all the others. Like, it really feels like there's something else to this. And it also, that cumin vibe I was talking about just gives it an addictive edge that other things don't have. Like, there's something like where I'm smelling my wrist, I'm like, damn, this is just so addictive. It's really light and bright. It's something I feel I could easily pull off even in the summer. I don't think this is ideal for like being outside all day in the summer, but when you work in air conditioning, I think this is perfectly fine. Like, this is a very light, ethereal scent, and it's very mass appealing. As I kept on wearing it, naturally you get bored of scents. Like, and I anticipate that, especially when I wear something for a week straight. It's not normal behavior. Usually people change fragrances like they change clothes. But it's important for me to know, can I wear this for a week straight? How do my feelings evolve over time? Is it worth picking up a big bottle, or should I just get a decant? And I just felt myself getting really bored of this scent really fast. It just started feeling like a one-note fragrance. That's the best way I could describe it. Almost like cardamom, that key lime spice was like all I was getting. And I was going nose blind to the spice and the leather facets. And also just there's something soft about this. Like, it's very unisex. And this is just my personal taste. I like decisively masculine fragrances. Like, I just like the masculine style. So this is just soft. It's not really pushing any boundaries. It's not challenging. And as I was going nose blind to the facets in this, I started just smelling my wrist and thinking, damn, like, okay, yeah, it's that key lime spice. It smells really good. It's really light. It's really nice. But it's like, I've smelt this already. And I was just getting bored of it. Like, bored of it really fast. And then later on in the week, that's when the compliments started rolling in. Like, insane. Absolutely insane amount of compliments. From coworkers, from people at grocery stores, like all those stories you hear where people say, hey, someone tapped my shoulder at a checkout line and said I smell amazing. I used to think those like stories were like made up, but with African leather, I started having things like that going on. Like people asking what I'm wearing when I'm in a checkout line. And that just kind of made me rethink this fragrance. Like, I think it's just a very good mass appealing fragrance. I don't think it really pushes boundaries. I don't really think it's a fragrance I really get into for the vibe of it so much. But when I really just want to smell amazing to the environment, I feel like African leather is really up there. And I don't get any synthetic smells from this fragrance. Like, some of these crowd-pleasing fragrances in the dry down, they can kind of smell like a jumbled mess. This one definitely has like a really good quality to it, and it maintains its composure. That being said, it's not the most exciting fragrance to reach for. It is a crowd-pleasing scent, and I only need so many of those, and I kind of already have those. So it's not one I feel really attached to. It's just really nice to have to wear when I want to smell good to other people. I'm just not fully resonating with the scent personally enough to where I look at my shelf and this one just reigns special. It doesn't. Like, I feel like it's replaceable in the sense, like, if this went out tomorrow, I could just wear a Ventus. If this went out tomorrow, I could just wear Imagination or Myth Mystery for Men. Like there's a bunch of like things that I have that could replace this. It's just to smell good to other people in that category of scent. So that's kind of like my overall take on African leather. It's one I'm going to take a decant of. There's barely anything left in this bottle, but I'm going to just let go of whatever it is. Because in reality, I like it. I think it's great. I think it's worth trying. But at the same time, it's not a need for me with where I'm at. It's not something that like I'll super miss it. And if I do, I'll just get it back. I actually think this one's priced pretty well. I think if you look at it on discounters and what it goes for, I think this one for what it offers, for the sillage, for the performance, the mass appeal, and it is unique. All that put together, I do think this is a good fragrance. Like overall, if I put it all together. So I feel like I'm going to be a victim of the marketing and describing the vibe of this. But I get a Savannah vibe, okay? It makes me think of like Crocodile Dundee kind of vibe. I mean, of course, it's like a crowd-pleasing scent. I'm not saying you wear this and you smell like the crocodile hunter. But I'm just saying the way the spices are articulated, that key lime spice, that cumin, all that kind of makes me think of a sunset. Like cumin's kind of always had that gritty texture to me, that kind of gritty smell. It's always made me think of sand, like sand dunes. But with the uplifting vibe of the key lime spice, it kind of makes me think of the sun. So it kind of has this gritty, sunny texture, and it actually does legitimately make me think of a Savannah. Like whenever I'm at the Fort Worth Zoo and I see, you know, the Savannah segment at the zoo, and just kind of seeing that coloring and that gradient, like if it were a really beautiful day at sunset, that's what African leather makes me feel. It's just a slight vibe I get with it, plus that leathery kind of component. All of it just comes together to create that for me. But more than that, I think African leather is just a super mass appealing scent. I feel very comfortable wearing this. I don't feel like I'm pushing any boundaries. I feel like I could wear this to the office, and it's one of those ones I feel very confident in. I wouldn't say this is a super challenging fragrance. In my mind, it leans way more into the mass appeal category, and it really offers something else in that category. I don't feel like it's copying any other fragrance that's out there. I don't think it's derivative. It's really doing its own thing. And that's why I think it's definitely worth trying. Whether it resonates for you or not, that's going to be completely subjective.
That's what she said. We have African Leather by Memo. Stop. Memo. And I love the bottle. It's really cute. It has a leopard or a jaguar on it. I don't know. I don't think leopards or jaguars are African. Maybe it's a cheetah. Anyways, that's not important. Let's get to how it smells. Okay. I like this. Oh my goodness. I don't know why, but it made me think of like a Middle Eastern dessert, if that made sense. So imagine like something really like syrupy and like spicy. I don't know, like hard to... There is like a leather scent to it, hence the name. But it's not like on the forefront, like boom, this is a leather fragrance. No. I actually love this one. I think this would be more suitable for the fall and winter because it has like a sweet darkness. My vision, like who wears it, is definitely like somebody who's a little older, but on the I don't know, like more hip kind of person. Like you're mature, but you have a young personality. I like it. It's very nice, very masculine, and I'm gonna give this one another 8.
Here's the dry down.
The dry down becomes like almost citrusy, fruity or something.